of episode 7.
Thank
I'm
you.
very glad that we could make this happen. A lot of your fans have been sending me interesting DMs etc. कि जब से announcement हुआ है कल से मुझे पहली बार जो किसी ने पूछा आपके बारे में, which was a very interesting सवाल कि when I because I've told about the message regarding what Sunny Side Up is all about. एक चीज which you used to do during your childhood, which you were very fond of, आपको मजा आता था हर चीज करने में, लेकिन perhaps now because of your celebrity status or because of the fact that you are a public figure, there is a certain demeanor that you need to maintain. वो चीज आप नहीं कर सकते. वो ऐसा क्या चीज है which reminds you immediately about those lovely childhood days?
Lovely childhood days. I think it is I mean, I still do it very often. It is just basically to be outdoors and like I used to love playing outdoors. Honestly, that I'm not like a gadget freak or somebody into technology. Never been that kind of a kid. So for me, that playing hour, and this I'm not saying just till I was a kid. I think till I was in college, I used to regularly go make sure I'm out in the evening doing some kind of physical activity, like either playing basketball or playing any of kiddie games that we used to play. So definitely can't do that. But even till date, if I get a chance, I go for walking and running now, which is very adulting, but love to do that.
यहाँ पे बहुत लोग who are talking about your performing skills and everything, वो सब तो है, लेकिन I think average में अगर 10 कमेंट आ रहे हैं उसमें से 5-6 तो ये बोल रहे हैं निकिता आप कितनी खूबसूरत हो, you are a natural beauty, you are this, you are that, etc. So in real life as well, I'm sure there must be moments with fans and admirers when they meet you and when they greet you, they must be having those kind of compliments. Whenever somebody says something like that, does it make you blush? मतलब क्या reaction कैसा होता है उस time पे when people are like so much full of love for your looks?
I don't know. This is, I think, the third or the fourth time I'm speaking to you, Shubhajit, and I'll tell you, I am so bad at taking compliments. Like, I just don't know how to respond, how to react. I'm terrible at that. So if somebody says that, all I do is I just smile and say thank you, and I get very awkward. I'm just like, don't say it. I don't know what to respond. I don't know what to say. Like, what do I do with this? It's very sweet. It's very overwhelming, but just terrible at reacting to compliments like that.
But I'm sure वो लोग compliment तो बंद करना खत्म नहीं करेंगे. I'm sure इसके बाद भी DMs आएंगे जब लोग मिलेंगे. They'll also have stuff to say. Your career, like I mentioned in my the caption as well, it's one of the most difficult things to make that transition from TV to movies, and we have already spoken about that in the past, which is why I don't want to get too much deep into that zone. But एक चीज के बारे में जो मैंने उस टाइम पे आपको नहीं पूछा था, which is कि जब वो चीज successful हुआ, उसके बाद your mental state, was there any kind of pressure in terms of understanding कि चलो ठीक है ये transition तो हो गया, मैं घुस गई ये इंडस्ट्री में, I'm now a part of movies as well, the 70mm big screen, but how do I maintain that consistency like what it has been in the past in television? वो pressure आपने कभी feel किया है as an actress in the 70mm celluloid?
You know that pressure is constantly there. I'm not going to lie. That pressure is constantly there, and the 2 years of COVID have really not helped any of us in the industry. Nobody. So, but I think I've made peace with the fact कि ये जो pressure है ये हमेशा रहेगा. ये lifelong pressure. कि how do you keep up? How do you keep challenging yourself? Or how do you still stay connected to your audience? Because everybody's memory is very short. People forget. So this is going to be an ongoing battle till the time I want to act in films. So I don't think इससे तो कभी छुटकारा मिल पाएगा. लेकिन ये है कि ऐसी situations को deal करने की जो patience होती है, I think with time that's just become better.
Wonderful. One movie, of course, everybody talks about. अभी भी TV में होता है. There's a digital premiere, कुछ भी होता है. People talk about Kabir Singh all the time. I don't want to get too much deep into that. I know you have spoken so much about it, but that one thing perhaps about Kabir Singh that you would have done differently अगर आपको मौका मिले. Like say if you have that time machine and you can go back to the past and you feel कि चलो this is one thing about Kabir Singh, people have loved me so much, but perhaps this is one thing that I could have done better, or this is one thing that I would like to change. ऐसा कोई चीज है about that movie?
I think to be very honest, in terms of by performance, I don't think I would want to change anything, because there is only like whatever I was given in terms of the description about what the character is and how it should be. I did whatever I could. Whenever I watch it, I've always realized कि मतलब इसे there is not much you can do apart from that. But I would want to change and maybe experiment a little, maybe with my look, because I do remember when I was shooting for Kabir Singh, I
Yeah.
did test or something,
Mm.
and I was always however you're comfortable looking, please. So, I had like people who were, responsible for my hair, makeup, styling. They were constantly changing. I think on multiple days, I had multiple people doing it for me, which is why you'll also realize I'm different in lots of. So, if I want to go back and change, I might work something on that. I might just want to think over कि क्या कुछ अलग कर सकते हैं.
Wonderful. You know, of course, once a big break happens in any form, it opens up multiple doors of opportunity. But right now, I think कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि because there's so much of hustle and bustle, we at times tend to forget कि it's also important to perhaps take a bit of a break, just take a bit of a breather and relax, and then rejuvenate yourself and go back again. So I believe right now you have a bit of a break where you're focusing on other things like yoga, your own self care, your own self pampering. तो मुझे उसके बारे में बताया, because I know that you're a part of some yoga course which is very redefining in its own way. So I would love if you could tell me and your audience about it as well.
I feel like I've gone back to school, to be very honest. But so I had this entire month of July off, which I was very sure of, because whatever I'm doing right now resumes in the second half of August. So I'm trying to figure what to do with it. And ideally, I wanted to go on a vacation and visit my sister, who stays in the States. So that was initially my plan, but because of some other issues, I couldn't do that. So now I was sitting and thinking, okay, क्या किया जाए इस एक महीने में? Because this is how I am, and I'm very bad at being idle. Like the moment
Yeah.
I know free time, I'm like, what do I do with free time? मतलब इंसान क्या करता है खाली time के साथ? I'm terrible at handling that. So the idea was just to keep myself occupied, and of course, I just feel that always an added skill or an added, any kind of added knowledge is an advantage. You might not use it now, you might not use it later, but it's always an advantage generally in life. Like so, I signed up for this yoga course, which is actually a teacher training course. I don't intend to teach anytime soon, but it was purely and purely one for my self-involvement and
Yeah.
evolvement, and secondly for just to understand, because I've been practicing yoga for so many years. I think almost 10 years now I've been practicing yoga,
Yeah.
and wanted to go a little deeper into it. And trust me, I'm almost 3 weeks down this course that I'm doing. I just have one more week to go. I feel this is one of the best decisions I had taken, instead of going on a holiday and, exploring, which is also what I really want. But I put back seat, and instead of that, when I took it up, I was a little unsure. But now when I think about it, I'm like, best decision. Because as the days are passing, whatever I've learned, whatever I've picked up, I don't know how will I be able to share that knowledge with people. I have not thought of that, not thought of it so far. But I think just for myself, as a person, I can feel a lot of difference.
आई थिंक तो इसका मतलब यही होता है बेसिकली, प्लान जो होता है, प्लान वो जो फॉलो नहीं होता है, कुछ और जब हो जाता है, दैट इवेंचुअली एंड्स अप बीइंग
Yes.
द बेस्ट थिंग. एंड बिफोर
last minute thing. It was just a very, like, I remember
Yeah.
on 30th night is when I had taken the decision that I'm doing this.
How sweet. And before I go forward, एक चीज मैं बताना चाहूंगा. A lot of you over here, जो लोग अच्छे बातें बोल रहे हैं about Nikita, which is good. A lot of you over here who are kind of trying to troll her or demean her in any way. एक चीज मैं बता दूं ना, उनको फर्क पड़ता है ना मुझे. तो आप लोग ही यहाँ पे हमारे ऑडियंस, आप लोग को रहना है, प्लीज रहो. नहीं रहना है मत रहो, बट बदतमीजी मत करो उनके साथ, बिकॉज इफ शी इज अ वुमन, देयर इज अ सर्टेन वे यू बिहेव विद वुमेन. अगर बात करना एंड बिहेव करना नहीं आता, then I think you need to get your upbringing sorted, because just abusing her just for the sake of it won't help. So please get that straight.
I don't take that seriously. Completely fine.
Yeah, it's good. On one hand, there were projects like, Kabir Singh, Big Bull, etc. And there was something like Rocket Gang as well, which मैंने मेरे जो फ्रेंड्स है वो आर इनटू डांस एंड ऑल, लाइक होल हार्टेडली इनटू डांस, मैंने उनके साथ बोला था एंड आई शोड देम stuff about that movie as well. And I remember that you said कि Bosco himself was so impressed with the fact कि आपने अपने डांसिंग को enhance करने के लिए कितना ज्यादा additional मेहनत किया, because जितना मुझे याद है you are not a natural dancer that way, so you have to work, हाँ, so you have to work additionally hard ताकि आपको समझ में आए कि what the audience needs and what he needs as the director. वो तो चलो हो गया डांस, दैट इज एन एस्पेक्ट ऑफ परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट्स. अगर मैं आपको पूछूं another maybe form of performing arts जिसको which you are perhaps not a natural at but you really want to learn and kind of just like dancing को आपने kind of dominate किया for that role, अगर ऐसा कोई और space of performing arts है which you really want to conquer and do well, वो क्या होगा? And you never a manifestation might work.
During the journey of Rocket Gang, I had taken a very brief phase with aerial acrobats and dance. Of course, we didn't really use it in the film, but that was something I remember for the brief period when I did it. I really enjoyed doing that, and that's been something on my mind, that whenever I do get the time next again, like how I got this month off, I would want to pick up that skill. ऐसे तो to be very honest, बहुत सारी चीजें मुझे सीखनी है. Like in between, I really wanted to pick up, learn a bit of Urdu, because fact that I mean we are working in a Hindi film industry. At the end of it, ज़ुबान है वो बहुत साफ होनी चाहिए, and you can kind of that. So I wanted to do that as well. So there are these small little things that I want to learn eventually. I think with time will happen. I think हर चीज की एक calling होती है. Like right now this month calling. So when
a lot of people over here, मैं देख रहा हूँ, it's not just about Kabir Singh, वो time गया, अभी so many people I have seen a common pattern मैंने देखा, they are also talking about Khaki the Bihar chapter as well. It's a franchise in itself, and I'm sure you've got your share of compliments when the project released on Netflix earlier. We also did an interview regarding that, it was lovely. But ऐसा कुछ, a lot of people are curious कि do you want to continue being a part of such stories as well? Because अगर मैं एक तरफ कबीर सिंह रखूं, एक तरफ बिग बुल रखूं, एक तरफ रॉकेट गैंग रखूं, एक तरफ खाकी द बिहार चैप्टर रखूं, all four poles apart from each other, like there is no similar line, कोई ऐसा parallel line नहीं है कि हाँ थोड़ा बहुत भी similarity है. So I don't know how you work or operate, whether you be selective in terms of ensuring कि अलग हो या वो होता जाता है अलग. How does it work in your case, especially in the last 2-3 years?
I'll be very, very frank with you. So the thing is that in today's time, especially at the place we are, we don't have godfathers here who get the best scripts for us. So there are scripts that are offered to you, and now our job is to sit and select whatever we can from, whatever best was offered. So मेरी हमेशा से कोशिश यही रहती है that whatever comes to me, I have 3-4 things in mind. One, what is it, basically what is the content that is being made, who's involved in getting made. There are some times when I really want to work with the person associated with it. Like that's one of the reasons I said yes to Khaki, because I really wanted to work with Neeraj. So that's the second thing I always take into consideration, and of course my character. So these are 3-4 things I always look at before selecting something that's offered to me, and that's what I've been doing. Now this place where we work, I always keep saying is a gamble. So some things that kind of end up turning out to be great for you, some things don't end up turning out to be great, but I feel that should not stop you. You just kind of keep going your gut. So that's exactly been my entire equation of trying whatever work I've been doing.
मैं बहुत excited हूँ. I'm sure you're resuming something again in August, तो उसका release भी very soon होने वाला है. I'm very excited to talk about that as well whenever it comes. We have had a good time regarding this chat as well. Now I have 3-4 interesting fan questions which I would like to take over, and then we can kind of conclude the chat. So यहाँ पे someone is asking कि आप yoga तो कर ही रहे हो for this course. Additionally, what do you do to keep yourself naturally fit right now?
नेचुरली फिट रहने के लिए आपको बहुत सारी चीजें करनी पड़ती है जो बहुत सिंपल है, लेकिन यू जस्ट हैव टू कीप एट इट. वन ऑफ देम इज यू हैव टू स्टॉप ईटिंग एनीथिंग आउट ऑफ पैकेट्स. आई हाईली endorse. Please do not eat anything. Always, even if you want to crave and eat like good food which you think is unhealthy, stereotypical as we all call it, make sure it's freshly made. That's one major thing. Second thing is just keep yourself active. I love going for walks. I feel walking is the best kind of cardio. A lot of people kind of underestimate the power of walking, but I highly, highly recommend it. ऐसी चीज है that we don't have an excuse for it. Of course, अभी बारिश हो रही है. That's a valid excuse. But I'm just saying, otherwise, wherever possible, make sure you just keep yourself physically active. I think when you do these two things, you've already won more than half the battle. Uske baad, of course, everybody has their personalized goals. Some people want 6-pack, 4-pack, 8-pack, whatever. Then you can just kind of go deeper into it. But these two are the basics that I would just say. Be active, don't eat anything preserved and processed.
यहाँ पे coincidentally इनका भी नाम निकिता है, निकिता शेगरे. She's asking me, ma'am, एक दूजे के वास्ते was so special for all of us fans. कुछ एक दो लाइन बता दीजिए about that show and your most fond, most loved memory.
That show was actually very special for me as well, because I think my growth as an actor happened the most through that show. I learned a lot about myself, about how I am in front of the camera. I owe a lot in that matter, and also the love I received from the audience and the fans. A lot of it goes back to the roots of Ek Duje Ke Raaste.
Yeah.
Very dear, the character. Uske अगर मैं बताने लगूंगी तो there's so much about it, it's an entire journey for 8 months that I have given, and a lot of blood, sweat and tears and laughter, all of that into it.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे मुझे पूछा है सृष्टि ने. शी इज आस्किंग कि मैम ये जो आपका नेचुरल, एक सेकंड लेट मी जस्ट रीड इट आउट. मैम ये जो आपका नेचुरल ग्लो है, ये आप सुबह उठ के कौन सा फल खाते हो? सो देयर इज अ बिट ऑफ ह्यूमर अटैच्ड एज वेल, बट दैट इज व्हाट शी मींस.
No, literally that is the secret to this glow. I will tell you, मैं सुबह उठ के सबसे पहले फल ही खाती हूँ. A lot of might disagree because it's sugar and glucose and all that. I have been doing this for the last 10 years of my life, where I wake up in the morning immediately against all the intermittent fasting fads and keto fads, fruit fads. I eat a fruit in the morning and I eat a seasonal fruit. तो अभी तक आम जो है, I think उसका last season में
last leg चल रहा है.
अभी तक मैं सुबह उठ के एक बड़ा सा आम खाती हूँ. And I have no shame in saying that. It's good carbs, good sugar. I would recommend if somebody starts doing that, but that is वही फल है.
बेसिकली येलो मैंगोस खा के अब येलो जैसा ग्लो कर रहे हो आप वहाँ पे, शक्ल पे आपका वो ग्लो आ रहा है.
येलो ग्लो कर रही हूँ. You can say pink or
yeah, but the idea is basically brightness, happy, because yellow is a very happy and good vibe. मुझे तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है येलो एज अ कलर. लास्ट क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे तुषार ने मुझे भेजा है. मैम, यू आर फैंटास्टिक इन कबीर सिंह. नो अमाउंट ऑफ कॉम्प्लीमेंट इज इनफ. आपको क्या प्रोजेक्ट के बाद शाहिद से कभी मिलने का मौका हुआ? सो मे बी इज आस्किंग कि वेदर मे बी सम स्क्रीनिंग या कभी कुछ वर्क मीटिंग.
I remember this one time he messaged saying, stop doing so much yoga in life. It puts us all to shame. So I remember him telling me that this one time. But yeah, I hope to work with him soon.
Wonderful. Well, Nikita, thank you so much for doing this. And, like you said, I'm very excited for whatever you resume.